Is it supposed to rain tonight?
No, Dad. It's been sunny all day. It'll be sunny all day tomorrow.
The storm is coming. Trust me.
Tomorrow, run faster. Faster.
Like Venus.
Thank you, Mountain, for watching my family and bringing home a boy for Venus.
Seal it with a lightning kiss.
Venus.
Love is the electricity that flows through all of us. It's our job to pass it on.
Ever tell you that you're a gift from the lightning clan?
Well, Mom did. She told me that my soul had crossed many lifetimes.
We will all leave this world, William. We're just supposed to do what we're meant to do while we're here.
Come on, baby. Tell me to run faster. Just tell me to run faster. Venus, I'm coming.
What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would. Were he not Romeo called?
Saw the pole sticking out of your roof.
It attracts lightning.
Thought the whole point was to keep lightning away, but to each his own.
Can never keep lightning from where it wants to go. My William, you found me.
Venus, I never stopped running.
First, thank you so much for coming out to see this amazing film. Don't you guys think this is like an incredible film? And this film is part of the World Peace Initiative here in Cannes, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But first, I wanted to just, Norry, please share with us. We'll have a quick Q&A. If you could just share with us what was the inspiration behind this story. I mean, it's just such an amazing story, and tell us about it.
Sure, thank you. I have a very dear friend, is a Native American, young Native American writer who wrote this as a gift for me a number of years ago, actually about 3 years ago now.
Wow.
And I immediately fell in love with it, and everyone I shared it with got emotionally attached to it, including Mr. Danny Glover, who loved it and wanted to be a part of it as well. In fact, at the end, you'll see he dedicated the film to two of his most recent deceased friends. So it was on the paper, you know, really it was there. We just had to get it to the screen, you know.
Well, you guys just did an amazing job cinematically. The story is just profound in the acting. This person who wrote this, are they a writer? I mean, it's just is it based on a true story? Well, I mean, where did the story come from?
James had a really unique, James Bird is his name, had a very unique childhood. And his mother very lovingly would tell him stories, and often they were living in a car and sort of just out on the road, and he would say, "What happens down that road, you know, Mom?" And she would make up a story that happens down that highway while they're driving through Arizona, and it just forged him as a storyteller from a very young age. That was the way she both educated him and entertained him as well.
That's amazing. Any questions from the audience for? Yes. Okay, comment.
I'm a filmmaker, and as a filmmaker, I'm very judgmental about the filmmakers. But what this film was, as the last, it's also your wife sobbing for the last half hour. Making me cry. Thank you for making me cry. You made Shakespeare completely accessible, and it's not sentimental, it's emotional. It's heartbreaking, but not cliched. Anyway, there was not one false moment. The young kids were great, and the girl scene that absolutely inspirational scene when they're doing Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare, but I've never seen it played in New York on cars before, and it captured my heart. And you should be so proud. I saw a film last year that everyone loved called More. It was calculated to move your heart, and I thought, it's okay. This broke my heart, and thank you so much.
Thank you. That's very, very kind, Regent.
When you say it's a film about Native Americans and black people, I mean, I recently, not about me, but I was part of Nigeria's Got Talent. And I was talking, it's so easy for any of us in the film industry to have these epithets where we say, oh, we're liberal, we understand. But you have to make it. I might just cast a Nigerian girl in something, an Indian girl in something, then on one country. But this, every culture is there. You tick all the boxes. How easy or hard was it to get the film made?
Well, I mean, I went at it from a purely spiritual, artistic standpoint, and that's why Shakespeare, and that's why Native American, because it's storytelling. You know, it's things you say around the campfire for a million years. You know, so and it's about eternal life. You know, I mean the passing and the new birth and all of that, and there are a lot of subtle touches in there as well. And upon subsequent viewings, you'll see other things. You know, Joseph Campbell about crossing thresholds and a hero's journey, and so they're very deliberate thresholds painted on the screen. Exactly 16 minutes in, from both directions, there's a white line on this side of the screen. And on the beginning, William can't cross it; he stays in the living, and at the end, he crosses the picket fence and he chooses to die. So there are a lot of things that are there on the palette.
So subtle. That's what's amazing about it.
And I think you'll, you know, upon, again, subsequent viewings, you'll see some of those things.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Any other questions or comments? Yes.
I have a comment. I wanted to tell you that in 1972, I would have been exactly the same age as the two protagonists in the film. And what was really striking to me and touched me emotionally was how you conveyed the story, particularly of what it feels like to be a person of color in that situation without being angry or overly emotional. It was just very, very realistic. You just put it out there. And it really felt very authentic, and it reminded me of what I felt like in 1972. And I thought it was a beautiful story. I looked over at my husband, and my husband does not cry. So but it was a lovely story. Thank you for making it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. It really is.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought your question, even though you explained beautifully the nuances of the cinema of the film, but it just seems like you were because you're a filmmaker. It seems like you were asked it exactly. You know, was this film? How was it funded, or where you know was the impetus to? Even though it's a beautiful script, obviously, and you had some momentum with Danny Glover and so forth, but how did you actually get the film made?
Sure. I mean, again, everyone really fell in love with it, including the private equity that we went to. So okay. I couldn't really, with a film like this, do pre-sales. It's not a genre film. It's not an action film. And, so we really did it in the more traditional sense of just raising the money privately. It happened really fast. It's horrifying, as you know, as a filmmaker. You know, initially we started out, Sally knows, she's here. And we were over budget, you know, from day one. But I just knew we would find the money along the way, and we did. But it was sort of scary. I'm a commercial filmmaker by trade, and I had just done a commercial that was twice the budget of this film. So I kept scratching my head and not sleeping, and you know, wondering how is this going to be possible? How can we make this? You know, so, and it worked out. We found the money, and we made it quickly, thank goodness. And
when's it being seen publicly?
I'm sorry?
When's it being seen publicly?
Well, we're working on that. You know, really.
Everyone who sees it here should go out and say, I saw this amazing film. Please.
Good, please.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you're really the first audience to have seen it in this iteration. So for me, it's finally finished, and you're the first people to have seen the finished film.
Well, thank you for bringing the film to Cannes and supporting the initiative. And now I would like to just bring forward Princess Angelique Monique to basically just give some comments and closing comments. Princess, let's give her a hand.
This is a beautiful day, such a beautiful day. I don't have words to describe when that DVD was on the table and I put it in. First of all, I was raised Native American tradition. So, and I was raised also with the lightning and the rain tribe traditions. So when I saw this film, I just couldn't believe how the Native Americans and the African Americans and just people in general were captured to have culture, diversity, peace. And one of the things I was describing to Norry on the way into Cannes today when you came kindly to pick me up, Native American stories are always told from a Western perspective or from a perspective that's very cliche-ish. So when I saw this film, and I actually saw my grandmother in this film, who raised me, and I saw my grandfather, I don't have any words. And I want to thank you for being able to, number one, support our initiative, and number two, stepping out on faith to make a film such as this. And this, everyone, is what the World Peace Initiative is about. It's about bringing people together of all walks of life, and every single individual in this room is one. You know, we have our culture, we know where we come from, but it's about us learning about one another in order to have unity. That's what this stands for. And I remember when I first came to Cannes 3 years ago, I screened a film here, and I want to thank Diara and her beautiful partner for being here to also support this cause, and everyone in this room. I'm very appreciative.
Thank you very much. We are very thankful for you and for your initiative as well. And so lucky to be a part of it. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, everyone.